Hey everyone, my name is Ariana and I'm the face behind Little Mrs. Cookiecakes. I'm so excited to be part of MakerFest this year. For today, I'm going to be demonstrating how to decorate a sugar cookie. I hope you guys enjoy. So I have my sugar cookie ready here. I have gone ahead and outlined the petals of the flower. You don't have to do this step. You can also just flood the cookie and use the royal icing afterwards, about 15 minutes or longer, and go over it to define those flowers on top of the flooded base. I did it this way because I want to specifically do each individual petal and have that definition through the lines. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to do these portion of the flower, the little middle pieces that stick up. I'm just going to start here. You want to keep the royal icing just slightly above the cookie and not try to actually draw it like a pencil or a marker. In between, you can take a paper towel and just wipe the tip and keep it clean. And I'm just going to squeeze in the center to create those dots. This tool is called a scribe or a boo-boo stick. You can just go in and just smoothen out and manipulate the icing to get the shape that you want. You don't necessarily need to use this particular thing. You can just use a toothpick. It does the same thing. I personally like this because of this side. When there is a mistake, it's easy just to scrape it off. So to create the definitions of the flowers, it's better to alternate, let those dry for a few minutes, and then do the other ones. So you just start, lift up ever so slightly, and just let the icing drop onto the cookie. If you try to force it, the line will not be straight. When you get to the end, you just release the pressure off the bag, and that creates a nice ending point for the cookie. Then you just go in and you just use extra pressure on the bag to fill that cookie in. I personally like using a one consistency for both my outline and my flood. That gives a nice seamless look. You can then go in and just fix up any spots you may think you need to. Some people use two consistencies, a thicker piping consistency for the outline and a thinner flood consistency for flooding. Either way, it's perfectly fine. I just do it this way because it saves me time for mixing icing and saves on bags. Just use the scribe. Push the icing around to get it where you want it to go. So while that dries, I'm going to cut the green tipless bag. So to cut it, I just like to smooth down this little tip here, use some sewing scissors, and I just cut a small piece off. I'm going to then outline this stem, and I will outline the leaves. And then I'm going to fill in the leaves. I'm not going to fill in the stem just yet. I do want to have a little bit of definition between those as well. Every time I do a different color, I do like, or even the same color, I do like to clean off the tip of the scribe as the icing can dry. And if you're pushing around old icing, you will get clumps in the icing that you just did. Okay, now we can go back with the pink icing for this one here. Gonna clean off that tip. You don't need to outline this here as the pieces that you've already done that has slightly dried will show a barrier. So it didn't actually dry quite as much as I wanted it to. So I will go back and outline it when it's slightly more dry. We'll just work with what we're doing. Which brings me to my other thing that I'd like is when I bake cookies, I always bake extras to account for any errors or mistakes that may happen. Might as well just go and do this green, and I will do the outline after. So I'm actually going to go ahead and outline the flower petals, but I'm going to use a different color. If you let this dry for 15 to 20 minutes, the top layer would crust over. The icing wouldn't be completely dry, but it'd be dry enough that you can do other details on top. It is also quite a humid day today, so that drying time would extend a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline the petals. You're always looking for a nice straight line. Sometimes it curls if you don't have a straight cut on the bag. Just takes a little bit of practice. I'm going to take the same color and outline the leaves and the stem. And there you have it, a quick decorated sugar cookie.